Hey folks, what's going on? Saturday evening, snow, rainy and nasty, and just plain nasty. So anyway, folks, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to do some French onion soup. And then on the side, sometimes, you need something else. Because soup is soup, and then, you get hungry a little while. So I'm going to be making a Latin dish, a Latin side dish. It's called, it's what you do. I grate down the green bananas. Not plantains, but green bananas that are green, that haven't ripened yet. They come in a bag like this. And you probably wonder what you do with them. Well, actually, you can boil these and eat them. They taste good. And you can make what I'm making today. I'm making this thing called alcapurria, which is it's a fritter. And you shave these things down. You grate these things down. You make it into like a batter, like a pancake batter, like. And then you make them into patties. You put meat in between, and you close it up, and you fry it up, and it's called alcapurria. Okay. So I have some of the mix here already. And I want to show you how I'm going to mix this up. And I'm going to be using a grater. Okay. And I'm going to show you how this is done. So stay with me, bear with me a bit here. Okay, here we go, zoom in. Okay, so I got some of the mix already mixed. I'm going to show you. So these things are just like the plantains. I'm going to cook them. I'm going to chop off the tips. Okay. Ooh, chop the tips off. Or cut the tips off, right? Cut them off. It's not better to chop, right? There we go. And we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this. Okay, so this goes in the garbage. Now these things are very simple. If you have problems, again, run them under hot water, warm water, and it'll peel easy. Okay. So just a little slit. Okay. You can use the tip of the edge of a spoon, or this knife. Like this knife is dull, doesn't cut anymore. And then you go. Okay. So, and you're gonna peel these things off. And I just peeled about 6 or 7 of them. I just want to show you how I'm doing it. Then I'm going to show you how I'm going to grate this. I'm going to grate it down. And then we're going to add some stuff to it. And then we're going to make while we put it in the freezer, in the fridge to cool off a bit, I'm going to start making my onion soup, okay? So, and then I got to make some ground beef. That's going to be the filling for the alcapurria. So I want you to stay with me, bear with me a minute here. Let's peel these things around. Look how simple. Very simple. The noise in the background is the TV. With the news, I don't like to watch the news. It's all F nonsense of what's going on in the world. Okay, so this is, yeah. So we go here. Split open here. And then that's it. I'm doing a lot of things here in the kitchen today. Today it's going to be kind of busy and time consuming. I'm going to make this first. I'm going to start making the ground beef. And then I'm going to start making the soup. So, it's going to be quite an interesting video with a lot of stuff going on. So, okay, so now you take this grater here, okay, and you start to grate, okay. Just watch your fingers, make sure you don't grate your fingers. These things are soft, so they shouldn't be a problem. Now, some people run this through the blender. I tried to run it through the blender today. It just didn't come out. I don't know how people do it. I don't know what kind of blender they're using, but I have a Ninja blender, and it just didn't. I didn't get the consistency that I wanted. It just came out like kind of chunky, and I had to run it through another blender that I got, a fruit processor, and the pain in the. Okay, so when I get to that point, store it away, and then continue. Okay. And then I'm going to make this. This is going to look like a pancake batter. I'm going to mix it with the other one that I did earlier. And then I'm going to put some color in it. I'm going to put some salt to taste. And it should be good. Okay, there we go. folks, so this is what it looks like. This is what the mix looks like, okay? Let's get a spoon and I'll show you. I can never find a spoon when I'm looking for a spoon. Then when I'm not looking for a spoon, I find a spoon. Okay. Okay. So, okay, here we go. So this is like a mix. I'm gonna put some salt in here to give it some taste, and then some coloring. We gotta put some coloring in this, okay? And I'm gonna show you in just a few minutes how I put the coloring. Okay, so I put some salt. I put about a teaspoon of salt, a tablespoon. I'm gonna mix it and I'm gonna taste it. Okay. Mix it well. Okay. Mix it well. Okay, tastes good. Let's see. Okay, so it tastes good. Okay, great. So mix it well. Okay, folks. So this is the time I'm going to put some coloring in this. Now you can use the sazon with coloring, but I tend to. This is the like an old traditional way. So I got some annatto seeds which release coloring. Annatto seeds, okay. So I put some in a pan with a little bit of olive oil, with a little bit of cooking oil, and I'm gonna turn this on. Okay, and this is going to start to secrete, to let loose color. Now you got to make sure not to burn this grease, because if you burn it, you're going to get a bitter taste. So cook it up slowly. That's the trick. Cook it up slowly. Let's get another spoon. And like I said, you can use the powder sazon in this. It has coloring, but I tried it once. I just didn't like the flavor it gave it. And so these seeds have to be strained. Okay, so I got one of these things. I'm gonna run it through here. I'm gonna put some of the colored oil in here, and okay, let's make sure. I keep tasting it to make sure that. So you can see, this oil starting to get nice and orange. Now you gotta be very, very careful with this oil, because this oil, it gets on you. This color doesn't come off. It's hard to come off clothes. It's real tough stuff. And these things come from a tree. Annatto seeds come off a tree. I don't know too much about this, but the chocolate annatto seed comes out of a seed, out of a tree. And they release color, and this has been used in many it's used in a lot of foods. I choose the color to give it that nice orangey color. So you can see, the color already. It's nice and orange. Make sure you don't burn it, because you get that better taste. Okay, so let it slowly, and then strain it. Okay, make sure you don't get these seeds in your food. Just strain it. Okay, and I'll show you in just a minute how I want to strain this. Okay, and it looks like it's got enough color. So I'm going to pour a little bit at a time. Okay, a little bit at a time. There you go. And a little bit goes a long way. So just make sure you. Okay, so a little bit goes a long way, and it looks like this is enough. Hopefully. Okay. So there it goes. Okay. So just mix it up so you get the nice yellowy color. And it should be enough. It should be enough. Okay. So mix it up, get it a nice color. So folks, there it is. I put it in a bowl. Got the nice color to it. It's got the salt in it. Just salt. I just put salt and the coloring. That's it. Now I'm gonna chill this for a half hour or so it can become more manageable. Now it's too soft, so I'm gonna make it get it nice and manageable. And then I'm going to make them into these patties with meat inside. And you're going to see, I'm going to take you through the whole thing. So this off to the refrigerator. Now we're going to make the ground beef. which is what you put inside it. You could put chicken inside, I guess, here, and whatever, but it's usually ground beef. Some people put corned beef, that's nasty, and some people make it from chicken. So, but the traditional way is with ground beef. Okay, so let me put this in the refrigerator, and I'll be right back. So, folks, we're gonna make the meat now for the filling for the alcapurrias. So I got oh man, what a mess. I hate that. What the hell happened here? So anyway. Yep, there's some kind of circus in the background. So anyway, put the meat in there. And let me shut this off. So in preparing the meat, I'm using some of this cilantro cooking base. I'm using some of this in here in the mix in the ground beef. And I'm going to put some salt, some pepper, some garlic powder, some onion powder. And we're going to mix this up to taste to make it nice and tasty. And this is going to be the filling for the alcapurrias. Okay, so let me just get this, let me get the garlic powder. I'm going to use some garlic powder. About a tablespoon or two. Garlic powder. I'm going to be using onion powder. I'm going to show you in just a minute how it looks, okay? Get a lot of flavor there. There's a lot of crap going on TV. We don't pay attention to the background noise. Okay. So, there we go. Okay, so let me show you how it looks. Okay, so let's turn on the stove. I didn't put any salt in yet, actually. I just put in the garlic powder and all that stuff. Then I'm gonna put some salt in there. I got a little bit of salt left. I got a new one. I think I got a new one. Oh, yeah, I got a new one. So whatever's left in here, I'm gonna put that in there. Okay. There's still some salt in there. Okay. So we're gonna brown the beef. Brown this beef, okay, slowly. Low to medium. And then we're gonna cook this up. And when this is done, the meat is done for the alcapurrias. And then I'm gonna start cooking up my onions, breaking down my onions. That's gonna take a little bit of time, and that's gonna be for my French onion soup. Yeah. So stay with me, and I'm gonna brown this up, and I'll show you how it looks. So, folks, my meat is done. I just browned my meat, and I seasoned it: salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, all that good stuff. And it looks good, and it tastes good. I just tasted it. It's nice and seasoned. So this meat is done. We're gonna cover this up, put it to the side, and this is gonna be for our alcapurrias later on. And I'm gonna start chopping up my onions to start cooking them, slow cooking them for my onion soup. Okay, so stay tuned. Now for your French onion soup, one of the best onions, I looked it up, is yellow onions. Okay, yellow onions, they're like this. And then I threw in a Vidalia onion, which has a nice sweet taste to it. So I looked it up. You can use a combination of Vidalia and yellow onion. So that's why I have these both. I'm going to be using about 3 onions. And it looks like a lot, but it's going to break down. When it breaks down, you'll see it. So let's start cutting this. Let's start peeling these onions. Okay, so you cut off the tips. There you go. And then then the skin comes right off. You make a little slit here, and you peel the skin off, and it should come right off. Okay, it should. What should and what happens? There you go. Doesn't always work the same. There you go. So we gotta cut this. Oh, ripping some of the skin off. Okay, there we go. Oh, look at that. Okay. So then we're gonna continue doing that to the other onions. So what I did, I sliced the bottom. I sliced this so you got a flat section here so that it doesn't roll around, and then I'm just gonna slice it up. Okay, and I need to sharpen my knife. There we go. This usually is faster, but we're gonna. Okay, folks. So look at that. All these onions, right? I got about 2 onions. I got 3 onions in there total. I got about 3 onions in there, and okay, let's get this cleaned up a little bit here. So we got the onions in here, we got some olive oil in there, and I have some butter. And I'm going to put some salt in it. What the salt does, makes the onions sweat out the flavors. And even though it looks like a ton of onions, before you know it, this is all going to break down. It's going to be all in the bottom of the pan, of the pot. So don't worry about a lot of onions. It looks like a lot, but it's really not a lot. So this is all you got to do. You got to cook this, cover this up, and cook it up. And don't add anything to it just yet. When this breaks down, then we're going to add the seasoning. We're going to add the beef broth and some seasoning. And then we're going to cook up, and then the onion soup is going to be cooked. But you got to let these cook down for a long time. But that break down, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes till they break down. And then everything's being done. Everything's taking its course. The alcapurria mix is in the fridge, getting nice and the consistency gets tougher when it gets cold, so we can manipulate it and make it into the patties. I want you to stay tuned and watch me doing that. And these onions, I'm going to cook them at a low to medium flame, just to get them cooking and go and check up on them once in a while, mix them around. And but this is going to be good. So let these onions break down, salt it up, cover it up, and you're gone. You can take a break now from the kitchen for maybe 5-10 minutes and come back. So there's a 10 minute, you got a 10-minute break before you got to stir it up. So come back in about 10 minutes. I'll be right back. So folks, my onions are turning nice and brown. And you're going to wonder why these onions turn brown. Well, onions have natural sugars in them. And when the onion breaks down, the natural sugars release, and then of course they get cooked and turning the onions dark brown. So, and making them sweeter because they have natural sugars in them. So I'm going to show you in my next round, because they're not perfectly cooked 100%, and I want to show you how they look. Okay, but they're turning nice and brown, which means they're cooking up, they're releasing those sugars. And I started with a whole bunch of a pot full of onions, and there's only a little bit left, because that's what happens. They get cooked up. Okay, so stay tuned. So folks, when the onions break down, fine, in a few more minutes, I'm going to start pouring in I'm going to deglaze the bottom of the pot using, you can use white wine, you can use Marsala wine. Today I'm using sherry cooking wine. I have just the right amount left. So I'm going to deglaze the bottom of the pot, let that cook up a bit, let the alcohol burn off from the sherry, and then what I have left is the nice good flavors. And then I'm going to be using some of my beef broth today, and I'm going to put that in and let that simmer, and then the soup is done. And then we're going to go to the alcapurrias, which I know you're dying to see how they get done. Okay, folks, so I raised the flame a little bit, raised it up on the onions. Again, the onions are releasing the sugar. They released the sugars already. They release the sugars and then causing the onions to turn brown, nice and brown. This is the way you cook them. Sometimes in the past, I haven't given the onions that much time to cook up the way they should be. But today I had a little bit of time, and I cooked them up the way they should be and the way it should taste. They're nice and sweet because, like I said, onions have natural sugars in them. And when it cooks, the sugar comes out, and it cooks, and it causing it to have this nice yellow, brownish, sweet taste. So let me show you. Let me zoom you in on the pot. There we go. Okay, there we go. Look at that. So this is what it looks like. Okay. And this is what you're looking for. This is the consistency you're looking for. They're nice and mushy. They're broken down. You won't find too many onions in the soup, you know. Now, I'm raising the heat a little bit because I'm going to deglaze the bottom. I'm going to deglaze the bottom with some sherry in just a minute. I'm going to let that cook up, and then I'm going to deglaze it. So, folks, you see what that stickiness in the bottom? That's the sugars from the onions. Now I'm going to deglaze this by pouring in about a quarter cup of sherry cooking wine. Oh, look at that. That's what you're looking for. Look at that. And you're going to, okay, deglaze the pot. There you go, look at that. And what you're smelling right now, with all that steam coming up, that's the alcohol burning from the wine. And what's staying behind is the sherry, the flavor. Look at that. Oh, look at that, how it looks. Look at how this thing looks. Oh, okay. So I'm going to let this smoke up a couple more minutes. About a minute, 2 minutes. Just make sure all the alcohol is burned away. And then you can add the water to it if you're using water. I'm using some beef broth, beef beef broth that has more flavors in it, and so yeah. Oh, you can smell this. This is delicious. So folks, there goes I just threw in my broth, a little bit of water, and I'm gonna bring this to a boil. Once this boils, it's done. So I'm gonna cover it up, bring it to a second boil, and then we're gonna start making our alcapurrias that are coming, that they'll be side dish to this onion soup, so stay tuned. So folks, I don't like these videos to be so long, so this is a 20-minute video. So the soup is done. Okay, the soup is done. We just have to put it into these little bowls that I have with some French bread that I'm going to smear some olive oil on it, and then I'm going to top it all with some provolone cheese, and I got some mozzarella cheese. You can use Gruyere cheese or whatever cheese of your choice. I don't know about American cheese. Nobody uses American cheese because it's a fancy soup, American cheese. But anyways, French onion soup, right? So anyway, folks, I'm gonna bring this to a second boil, and then I'm gonna take it to the table. But before that, I'm gonna end this video because I want to do a video just on the alcapurrias. So I'm gonna end this video, and then I'm gonna do another video where you'll see me putting together the alcapurrias, frying them, and then you'll see me putting the soup together. So the next video will be a combination making of the alcapurrias and putting together the French onion soup. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned and watch my next video coming up next, how to make the alcapurrias. See you soon.